So for this little show, we're going to do some laptop prep. I work as IT, so I have to do this all the time. But when I install Linux onto a laptop at work, we have to do it a kind of a certain way. So ensure that I get certain features, and there are certain things I don't like in the install, so I rearrange them a little bit. And I thought this might be a good opportunity to show this off. So at work, we use PopOS, and I booted it, and you can see it, right? I've got it on the screen. Um, just one sec here. I want to do something. There, I'm not so distracted by that. Now, first thing you're going to need to do is, of course, get your PopOS and put it on a USB key. If you need a key choice, use this. They're pretty cheap on Amazon, and they're really, really reliable. They're USB 3 keys. I think they run about $8. So now we'll begin the install of PopOS. The usual stuff shows up, like languages and all that. That doesn't change. But here's the key. I don't want to do this. I want to do custom. And we want a modification of our partitions. Now, by default, PopOS installs 4 partitions. So we got an EFI partition, a recovery partition, an OS partition, and a swap. This was a Windows drive. So in Dell's parlance, there were 6 partitions, but we don't want any of them. So we'll start by getting rid of them all. Like so. We'll apply our deletions. So now we have a blank slate. So first partition we need, and it's going to be 2048. Don't mind me, I'm just getting over the flu. It's going to be called EFI. The file system will be FAT32, and the label will be EFI. Actually, this one is a little different. Boot EFI, like so. Now, it used to be the EFI partition only needed to be maybe half a gig, but things have gotten big. So I recommend making a 2 gig size. Our next partition is going to be the recovery partition. 4096. And recovery. FAT32. And yeah, recovery. And add. Now, next part is going to be the OS, but we need to put aside just the right enough space for the swap. Now, I just need to know how much RAM is in this unit. 16 gig. So what we're going to say is we want free space after less 16,535. You're probably wondering why the weird number. It's a factor of 2. So if you think about it, it's like 512, 1024, 1024, 2046, 4194. You get the idea. You're going up by the power of 2. So for 16 gig, it's technically 16,535. And our partition is going to be that. And our label is going to be PopOS. And our last one is going to be swap. And it is going to be, of course, swap. There's our layout. An EFI partition. So first, we now have to apply it. EFI, recovery, OS, and swap. Dum, dum, dum. There we go. But we're not quite done. We now need boot flags. So we'll say manage flags. And what we want is ESP, which automatically flags the boot. And we say close. So you can see up here, boot ESP is right there on that partition. And we're done. Now we have to make them available. So we'll say, yes, we'll use that partition. Yes, we'll use that partition. We don't have to do this for the recovery partition. Yes, we'll use that partition. So now we have the partitions at all once. And I need the user's name. Dun, 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 dun. Where's a pen? And a sticky note. Damn it. Sorry about that. I forgot to write this down. This is actually going to be for a real person, so JYOTHIGUDIDE. And their username is not that. That's silly. It'll be that. And then off to the races we go and we install the OS. Luckily for us, it doesn't take long to install PopOS. I think they changed their artwork a little bit. Then we restart the device. We don't need our USB key anymore. And if I did everything right, we should boot. No, it's not hung. There we go. There goes our graphics. Now, you're not seeing anything just yet. Give me a sec. It's because the displays right now are on stretched. We need to put them back on mirrored for a bit. There you go. So we just zip through this. Yeah, that's all fine. That's fine. The touch is fine. I'm not going to set up a Wi-Fi. Privacy's fine. Edmonton. That's where we are. We're not in Edmonton, but here in Alberta, the time zones is set by Edmonton on the chart. And by the way, if you do go into here and decide to set up this section, the Google works really well. And we'll start using it. There you go. Now, one of the first things we're going to need in our fresh install is Chrome. (64-bit) for Debian. We'll install it. There we go. And we can get rid of this. Now that we have Chrome installed, next thing we need to do is do some updates for PopOS and what I call some core applications. Oh, no, can't do that yet because it doesn't have a password. So I usually install the full Vim, Midnight Commander, Notepad, console, ocular, let's see, Vim, Maker, MC, Notepad, console, ocular. Oh, right. Open SSH dash server. For some reason, in any Ubuntu box, the server component is never installed, just the client component. And since this is going for a developer, they're going to need both. The reason is it's so many packages that because I'm installing from something from the Qt side, and PopOS is actually more or less a GNOME desktop. So in order to run the Qt binaries, i.e., like console, you need all the Qt libraries and everything to go with it. Usually after this, when you install other Qt applets or whatever, for you won't install as many libraries and stuff because all the baseline will be in place. Now, normally in PopOS, when you look down at the tray down here, if the PopOS star has an orange symbol on it, it's expecting to do updates. So, but we're going to kind of bypass the pop star because we can do it as easily at the command line. Indexes are updated. Packages are updated. And any old junky packages that don't need to be there anymore can be removed. So in a PopOS system, they don't use grub. They actually use a thing called system deboot, which is does away with the whole grub system. You just have to understand how to use it, like the kernel stub and stuff like that. So, um, but that's not actually that important at the moment. And we've got all the packages in place. We've done all the updates. And you can see on the pop store down here, the little orange symbol disappeared. Now, what we need to do, um, first of all, our swap partition is in the wrong layout. It's in an encrypted format, and we have to get rid of that. So you have to, first of all, fs tab. There's your encrypted file system right there. And then you have to edit crypt tab. And then you have to do a swap off. You can tell you turned your swap space off because it became 0. Um, because that at this point it's best to reboot. All right. Update init ramfs at least once. We're trying to make sure that that crypt system doesn't kick in. We don't want it to see it. This, what you're seeing, is not important. You could probably fix it by putting the latest firmware packs in for AMD GPU instead of lib firmware. But it's not critical. And I never do. I just ignore it. Okay, so we're going to reboot. Okay, if we go up here and we go grab our Chrome, we'll put it down on the, whoops. Come on, I didn't launch you, you stupid idiot. I hate that when it does that. Oh, it's behaving differently. Oh, will you cut it out? You can open the File Explorer. They've changed something again. Fuck off, Google. Yeah, they changed it. It used to be you just dragged icons out of here onto the thing. Not anymore. Apparently. You cut it out? I want to move you. There we go. Yeah, they definitely did some changes again. Not ha- They've been working on this desktop off and on for quite a long time, and I hate it when they turn around and just change things. So I don't want Firefox on here. Remove from the favorites and up, cut it out. And I need another one in here. We'll call it KDE. You cut it out. Oh, I hate this. This is stupid. Where on earth did they get this idea from? No, don't. This is frickin' annoying. You used to be able to just drag the icons all around. What the hell did they change in here? No. It's got to be something. Cut it out. I wonder if it's my frickin' mouse doing it. Just one sec. I gotta get another pointing device. This thing's acting like an idiot. Let's borrow the one from this computer. It could be that mouse just doing it. That's much better. This stupid frickin' mouse. We don't need these icons in here. And we want this down here. And we want to undo this one. Okay, that's much better. I wonder what's happening. Probably this stupid click in the mouse is dumb. Doesn't even last. They don't make them like they used to. Okay. So we've cleared the crypt. We've cleared all that. Now what we have to do is reset up the swap again to be more correct. And in that case, we need a terminal program. And we now have our console. And I am going to tune it a little bit. Yes. So you cannot edit the default profile. You have to create a copy. So set as default our copy. We edit. No, 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 no. I did not mean to do that. I did mean to go into here. Even for me, the font is too small. Let's go 12. No, let's go higher. There we go. That's a lot better. Unlimited scrolling. That's good. Now, I don't like this bar at the top of console when they added it. I think it's just stupid. Um, I go turn it off usually. Like so. But I do like if we go tab bar splitters, I'll say I will always show. So now we have that piece at the bottom. And I will show the new button down there. That's this one right there, down there in the corner. Okay. Now, okay. Now what we need to do, so first of all, stupid nose. Swap off dash A. I need that off for the moment. Make swap dash label swap dev nv. Okay, the way this works is this is the NVMe drive. The 0 implies the controller, the N and the drive, and then the P is the partition. So in our case, we know it's number 4. So N1, we have to go P4. Okay, what we need to memorize out of this thing is this UUID number. Next, what we need is, and I'm going to need my other machine here, and I'm going to have to, what I need from the other machine is the line that's going to go into, cut it out. CD etc cats fs tab. I just need the line that shows how the swap is done. I don't have a swap partition. Really? Really, really? That's not correct. Oh, we're gonna get a copy of that line. Dum 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 dum. I really don't have one there, and I don't know why. That's strange. Because I obviously have a swap file. But, let's see. There it is. Swap none. Maybe not. SSH. I'm just SSHing backwards into a couple of boxes just to find a copy of that file. There we go. That's the line I want. So we're going to etc fs tab, and we need to add a line into here. Remember that UID number? Well, there it goes. And then it's going to be none swap it's coming 0. Now normally this file it doesn't really matter, but you can apply a little bit of beautification code to it. You can make the file structure look easier to read. Kind of like that. Line up the columns. So we'll be able to load the swap file at boot up. It should be unencrypted now, so that's good. We need all this to set up hibernation anyway, so you have to get this all right anyway. Our next step is to load up Chrome. And do a few checks on this. I really don't understand why I'm half a screen. Come on, guys. It's like I'm too long, but I'm a fan of windows, not whole screen blowups. I don't think that's needed. Yeah. Set it as default. Stop arguing with me. Okay, performance. Yeah, no, that's fine. Appearance. We'll take the home button. Google.ca. We'll take the bookmarks bar. On startup, we'll take where you set off. On languages, better English. On downloads, flag it on so we actually know where we're downloading things to. Now, okay, there we go. Stay signed out. Now what we want from here is we're going to need this because we're going to set up hibernation. And we need PopOS, enable. Hibernate. And we need two particular pages from this list. We need the first one. And we need the second one. I have to figure out where it is. I will know by its look. And I'm pretty sure it's the GIST one. Nope. It is not. This page. So out of this page, we can skip the whole top section. We are after the bottom section right here. So first of all, we want to change this menu up here. This and the power menu right here. See, there's no hibernate button in there. Well, you have to add it. So and in order to get that button to install, it's actually a Chrome extension. Add to Chrome. Well, to add the button to GNOME, the tool is integrated into the Chrome extension. And no, we're not turning on sync yet. Go away. Okay, so we shouldn't need this anymore. Now when we go to this page, we have this right here, off on. And that should add to our menu up here, Hibernate. But it won't do anything yet because we haven't actually added the code for it. But it's now on. So our next step is we have to make a file like that. And we have to put some contents into it. It's basically this. That chunk of code. Okay, so we've created the file, we've put the stuff in it. This is what's needed to actually activate that button in the menu. And the rest of that we don't have to worry about. Now, in order to tie everything together, we actually have to tell the kernel and some other parts of the system where you resume from. So, this page is the clearest one I've ever found on actually doing this. What we really need out of this is these lines right here. So remember that UUID again? Okay. So we just have to remember where to create this. I believe it's in RAMFS tools. Kernel stub, swap file, swap partition. Let me just find it here. In this one? No, I was pretty sure it's in this one. Just a sec. Control F. There. That piece right there I have highlighted. And we need to make the line look like this. Resume equals UUID and all that has to be in the file. We don't need the offset because we're not using a file. We're using a partition, so we just need resume equals that in there. Oops. Insert resume equals. Yep. Escape, undo. I need that UUID number again. Another terminal. Bulk ID. Nope. SU-root. Nope. William, stop typing bad. SU-root. Okay. Bulk ID. So this is where the numbers are all stored. We're after the one for the swap partition here. This one label swap. So we need this UUID right there. Okay, back to this guy here. insert resume equals paste. Oh, William. Do insert resume equals middle mouse button, please. Thank you. And we don't need the quotes around it, so this can go just like this. This is going to tell the system where the Hibernate file is going to go, which is usually the swap partition. Okay. Next piece we do after you do that file is we have to tell the kernel how to do it. Okay. So if we now I need that line. So I'm just going to go get it. This is what you get for being sick. Holy crap. Oh, man. Okay. So I need kernel stub -a, I believe. Yeah. And double quotes around everything. So kernel stub -a, open the quotes, paste, and don't forget the R and resume. Close the quotes. Okay. And if you do kernel stub -p, we can see right here that it says right in the middle, splash resume, blah, 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 blah. That's what we're after. Now the kernel knows where the resume file exists. And the last place we have to tell it, of course, is initramfs. So we do another update, initramfs -u. There we go. You can see in the initramfs it has the same parameters for the kernel. Now it also includes RAM. You have to remember that initramfs is like a miniature version of core stuff that has to load before the real stuff on the hard drive takes over. It is, after all, a RAM drive, effectively. Preloaded RAM drive. Okay. So, we need to reboot again. Whenever you do changes like this, you have to reboot. You have no choice about the matter. Whew. Again, I'll have to put it in mirror mode again because you're not going to see anything. See, because it does. Unlike Windows, Windows begins a multi-monitor mode in mirror mode. Linux begins it in, well, at least on this OS, in span mode. Okay. It's kind of weird. When the display manager, which is the thing with the login prompt, comes up, its settings are kind of separate from the window manager, which is this desktop. So, now we want to test this out. So let's just reopen our Chrome again. Sure, restore pages. And who, Ted, you can be full screen, you stupid scrunch. I do hate that. Okay, we're going to test hibernation out. So on these Dell laptops, the best way to watch hibernation go into effect is to watch the lights on the keyboard. When they fully go out, and I think they have, it's kind of hard to tell on my desk. Okay, so we'll give it like 5 elephants, 4 elephants, 3 elephants, 2 elephants, 1 elephant. And we'll turn it all back on again. Now, I don't think you'll see this because it doesn't show boot messages on the capture off the HDMI off the side. But what we're looking at in here is there's a line at the top of the screen that will say resuming from dev disk, blah, blah, blah. Which it did show up. Now we have to unlock the desktop. And there's our open Chrome and everything. Hibernation works. That's all in place. Ta-da! So I've installed the OS, custom partitioned it. I did hibernation based on a swap partition, not a swap file. Just for your information, Windows uses the hibernate file on the C drive. But you can see it all works. And I don't really need these screens anymore. So this is our basic layout for a technical user where I work. They will go ahead and customize it and do. Oh man! Wow, that's the problem when you get sick. You just don't sound right. You don't do anything right. And they will customize it. I suspect they'll be installing things like Visual Studio Code, um, development tools, stuff like that. Um, that sort of thing. We'll give them an orientation on the use. I mean, we try to hire for that you have skills in Linux, right? That's kind of important. And, you know, um, as far as the rest of the PopOS, it's all basic, standard stuff. We don't do anything in here. I just happen to like console over the GNOME terminal. I think the GNOME terminal is kind of grudgy. Um, Console's a lot nicer, except when PopOS thinks it has to full screen everything. So, and I really like console because you can just tap, 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 tap down here. You can cycle through the tabs with shift arrow keys. You can have bookmarks to SSH links and stuff like that. You can do all sorts of things in this thing. That's really kind of nice. And that's it for our layout for PopOS. Basically, this person is ready to go. Now, I do know on this particular laptop, um, it was running real warm earlier, and I don't know why. It was under Windows it was running warm for some strange reason. But under Linux, it's running at a more normal temperature. Well, you know Windows. If I'm going to bake your unit, we'll do it the Microsoft way. Okay. So I don't need any of this anymore. And this time I will do a shutdown. Power off. And let us put the real dongle back in here. I think I'm going to have to invest in a new little tiny cordless mouse. This one is just sucks. Used to be my working one for my laptop, but it just, I don't know, doesn't work properly anymore. I don't think it's the battery or anything like that, but. Oh, and I'm going to go up here to USB 3 capture and just turn it off. So this is a Dell Inspiron notebook. And I was running a dock to give me my networking. We give these guys out to everyone. They work pretty good. One thing I do like about the Dells is that you have separate power in two places. So you're not dependent on the PD tile power supplies. You still have the classic barrel jack power supply. So, and we've had this happen where the PD power supply fails. And unlike the ThinkPads, you're screwed. And on the ThinkPads, which is kind of, why are we missing a screw? Damn. Okay. We lost the screw here. But as I was saying, ThinkPads only use the PD power supply now. And I've had it where the firmware, since it's a Thunderbolt port, technically not a USB 3.1, 3.2 port, those things, the firmware in the laptop can come out of whack, and then Windows will claim the power supply isn't right, and it won't let you update your firmwares. It's like a catch-22. Whereas on the Dells, since you get the standard barrel jack, it's no problem. You'll never run into that scenario where you can't update a firmware. Now, you do not need on here the Windows software for installing firmwares for the Dell. All you need is USB key and the firmware file. You put it in, you pick it off the boot menu that you want to do an update, and voila, it updates. Now, the only issues I have with this particular line, the Inspiron line, the shells are weak. They're not as strong as they should be. And I don't understand why I'm missing a screw there. So this is like our classic prep for one laptop for just for the Linux guys. I think we only have a couple of people who use something other than PopOS. There's a couple of people I think are using Fedora. I know one person who was using Fedora went back to PopOS because it was just, I don't know, unstable. It was causing him grief when he was trying to do programming. Usually freeze ups, packages not there, that sort of thing. If you're not aware, PopOS is built on Ubuntu anyway. It's just the whole desktop, and that is custom from System 76. So I am going to tell my partner that he can take this and back because I don't think I'll be in on Monday. Still sick. Well, you heard me. I sneezed. So, if there's anything else like you want to know about laptop preps like this, or let me know. I mean, I can do others. And no, I don't do Macs. Just to get that out of the way. They're a whole other beast. I'm not actually a fan of Macs, so. But when I do Windows ones, I use a Clonezilla approach. I have templates, and I clone the drive with the appropriate template for the size of drive, and then we do the final prep on it. We add the user. We tweak here. We make sure certain things are active, like our malware bytes, ESET, that sort of thing, and it's ready to go. Technically, to prep one of these ones with PopOS takes less time to get the Windows one set up. So it takes longer to do the Clonezilla than it is to actually set this up. So this will be it for the moment. And I hope you'll have a fun time. And I will try to be some more sick. Where's my stop button? Stop recording.